Hey guys, what's going on? Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Hope all is well. Be sure to watch until the end of this video. I'm going to try to be brief, breeze right through some of this information for all of you newcomers. Pay attention. There's been so many developments that have been happening across the board for DLT networks, Ripple in particular, and of course, XRP as the native digital asset upon the XRP ledger. None of this is financial advice, guys. Do your own research. Listen to whoever you'd like. But again, I am simply sharing information, so take everything I share with a grain of salt. And I think we understand what this means for this entire asset class. I don't need to explain that. You guys understand the valuations. Right here we're going to talk about the derivatives market. On the low end, it's valued at $544 trillion, and on the high end up to 1.2, maybe even 1.4 quadrillion dollars. Analysts say it's a very intangible market. Obviously, with those figures, I can agree with them. So the ISDA, guys. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I saw Matthew LINY on Twitter, guys, definite follow. Again, giving him credit here. If your crypto projects are not working with regulators, use caution. In the years ahead, guys, we know what happened in 2017 with all of the ICOs, the initial coin offerings. Very, very sketchy. Crypto is already, as risky as it gets. And with that risk comes the opportunity to make a lot of money. And that is what I think I've been preparing for and obviously doing the past few years, taking advantage of, these trends and what we're seeing. And I think those that connect correctly and speculate correctly in a speculative market, because you have to speculate, they are going to walk away with potentially life-changing wealth. Time and time again, I don't waste my time arguing with people. I see such silly comments, even on Twitter, when they see a document, they say, oh, it doesn't say XRP. Yeah, that's where the opportunity lies. That's where, the dot connecting lies, or the opportunity lies. These networks are going to interact, period. They don't have to use XRP. CBDCs do not have to use XRP, period, but they can interact. And that is the, interoperability that we want within a system. Remember, level playing field, the same vernacular that we are seeing, the World Economic Forum, the biggest groups and organizations in the world, the biggest regulators in the world. The picture is already clear, but the fact is nobody cares and nobody's paying attention. And some people think it's too good to be true, and that's fine. They can just watch this happen in front of them. So right here again, crypto projects not working with regulators. You guys can, invest in whatever you want. Even if it's risky, you might have some good reward. But keep in mind, XRP is going to be one of the most liquid assets. It's going to be one of the, 5, 10, or even 50 networks in the future to stay here. Again, RippleNet is private, permissioned. But the XRP ledger is open sourced entirely. It is not blockchain. It is DLT. It is merely a consensus network. This is the future. So if you guys are tech savvy, I'm sure you guys are well aware. But again, right here, the ISDA, we have Clifford Chance, we have R3. Again, I don't even need to talk about Corda and XRP, trade finance, trillions upon trillions. And then, of course, Singapore Academy of Law. So again, talking about, collateralization, DLT, across the board, Corda can settle via XRP. And what's interesting is right below, so we have right here, all the money, again, Lisa Daly sharing this information, and I wanted to share this. So the ISDA, guys, so who are they essentially? Right here, this stands for the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. It's a trade organization of participants in the market for over-the-counter derivatives. It is headquartered in New York City. Interestingly enough, guess who has offices in New York? And I mean, obviously everybody does, and this is not me dot connecting. This is just saying, R3's right there in tandem with their partnership with NASDAQ. No surprise. Keep in mind, obviously ICE with, backing Backed, and Ripple's office as well. No surprise, guys. Tons of money in this world, and obviously New York City is going to be a hotbed, and also important for, regulators. It's very, very strict. We can talk about the regulators that are even advisors and board of directors on Ripple. It's never ending, okay? So again, we can see what derivatives transactions, and in addition to legal and policy activities, okay? So again, all kinds of standards, information, huge, many countries, members, you get it. And right here. So the mission statement of ISDA, guys, foster safe and efficient derivatives markets to facilitate effective risk management for all users of derivative products. We have R3 and groups working on syndicated lending, group lending. I've seen, Square. I've seen Coinbase. I've seen, American Express have some recent acquisitions to kind of improve cash flows for local SMEs. And American Express is a huge RippleNet partner. Long time, they have joint ventures with many groups in China as well. You're just seeing the globe become connected. Okay, it is not a coincidence that the former president, again, or CEO of the DTCC, one of the biggest groups in the world, the Fed, before there was a Fed, became chairman of RippleNet, the Global Payment Steering Group. Too many coincidences, guys. And you have to comprehend, you can watch as many conspiracy YouTube channels or dot connecting YouTube channels, and you can even say I'm reaching at points. But remember, at the end of the day, I'm showing you information that is there. And if even 1/10 of this percent, 1/10 of a percent of this information is valid, I think you guys understand what that means for the price of XRP in the future. That is based off of true utility. Okay. And speculation is going to be phenomenal for this asset class as well. Just get ready, guys. Volcker rule, everything, okay? So ISDA, just another group, again, for, regulation and focusing on derivatives. It's going to be much more than on-demand liquidity, but that is such a necessary stepping stone, so we cannot sleep on that. I think it's incredibly important, but hopefully nobody gets offended when, I get bored at seeing that. I'm happy at seeing companies and Ripple developing that, and developing and kind of growing the liquidity within these liquid corridors in groups like Bitso, and we're seeing on-demand liquidity roughly 20% of RippleNet today. That's awesome. And obviously we're going to see this year-over-year growth obviously continue. We're seeing a push for digital acceleration, and this should not surprise you one bit. Okay, so I got a bunch of information. Just a side note, if you guys want to earn, this is not an affiliate link, I promise I'm not earning anything off this. Just wanted to share it if you guys care about band-to-band protocol. I believe it's band chain. You guys can go to coinmarketcap.com and probably answer, I think I answered like 12 or 13 multiple choice questions, and I earned like $10 of this crypto. Just talking about, delegated proof of stake, decentralized Oracle networks. There's going to be a lot of competitors, and obviously getting accurate data for smart contracts off chain is going to be incredibly important. There's going to be many, many assets. It's not just going to be XRP. It's not just going to be VeChain, ADA, etc. There's going to be dozens, and they're all going to have to work together. Co-opetition. All right. So Volante, guys, we know obviously they're processing on the low end, $2 trillion per day. They're a tech provider for the US, the clearinghouse, the real-time payments platform. We know they're RippleNet enabled. They have a Ripple plugin. No surprise. Even we've shown this a million times. I am Legion sharing this again. So we have Ripple right here. We have Volante's Ripple plugin. The module, and again, Ripple Connect. This is old vernacular. This is an old document, but just want to show you that, again, the interoperability is there. Now, why am I showing this? Well, so we can see right here. So again, Volante is recent news. Central Bank of Brazil sets rules to launch fast payments in the country with all players to be under its regulation, finance.yahoo. Right, so big news with Brazil. Now, every time I see Brazil, you might be sick of me saying it, but again, one of the BRICS nations, BRICS, okay, straying away from the US dollar, denomination. So pay close attention to this. We know that Ripple is also, was it a month or 2 months ago? Brad Garlinghouse meeting with, again, Mr. Neto or Campos, again, president of the Central Bank of Brazil. We've seen the documents. Should be no surprise. They've been working with them for quite some time. Then you kind of consider, all the competition that's going on with Facebook Pay, Facebook, WhatsApp, and kind of domination and competing for that market share as well. Okay. So when we kind of consider that, and then I saw King Solomon did a recent video. Let me pull it up really quick. Wherever it is. I pulled up the document. So right here, guys, go check out his recent video. I'm going to be brief, but again, just essentially a document from Banco Central of Brazil. Again, I don't speak Portuguese. And this was from, what year was this? 2017? Yeah, so 2017. And again, just right here, if you guys want to pause it and take a screenshot of this, talking about ILP in 2017, Ripple's ILP, okay, talking about Bank of England, again, another pay to RippleNet customer, talking about improving the real-time gross settlement systems. This is XRP's job, guys. Keep that in mind. And right here, again, King Solomon just showed this, and I thought this was absolutely fascinating. However, the Central Bank of Brazil team opted for not further exploring applying blockchain to the SML, mainly because it is already supported by running systems. Interesting. Okay, so again, they're already supported. And again, if we just connect these groups, just imagine what's going to happen. Brazil's economy, absolutely massive. Okay, so now let's just kind of speculate and see what the rest of the BRICS nations are doing. In particular, China, we know they're, light years ahead. And then we can speculate about India. And remember that quote I always reference of Ashish Birla having well over 50% of India in the pipeline as a RippleNet customer. Okay, remember former governor of the Bank of India, Dr. Rajan speaks at Swell. We have Ben Bernanke speaking at Swell. It's all right in front of you guys. I think we understand how big this asset class is going to be. We don't understand how big. We understand the upside is tremendous. And I'll tell you one thing, it's not going to be 20 cents or 30 cents. Okay? All right. So again, Corda, just focusing on this, XRP Crypto Wolf just sharing this. So we talk about, Corda end-to-end use cases, capital markets addressing increased, risk, reporting, liquidity. Everyone's going to have accountability. And we get it. And now we have this person, Chief Digital Officer at SIX Digital Exchange, is a highly regulated and trusted financial market infrastructure provider. SIX, SIX, must operate at the highest level of security and stability. We felt Corda Enterprise was the best fit for the scale and breadth of service was envisaged with SDX, or we envisage. Okay, excuse me. So again, every time I see SIX, I always think of the Swiss exchange, or their Swiss exchange, SIX. And again, remember XRP, their ETP, their exchange traded product rather than an ETF, went live back in April of 2019. Just a little dot connecting, showing connections. Obviously, it goes incredibly deep. They have a lot of type of exchange traded products on the account. Should be no surprise. All right. And then let's see, what else do I want to talk about before calling it a day here? Just wanted to keep this sweet. Another thing, because I did just watch King Solomon's video, was that document he showed of the World Wide Web Consortium back from 2016. And it was, Stephen Thomas, guys, talking about Interledger Protocol in particular. Huge things coming ahead, guys. And the coolest thing was this. It was, 2016, 2017, I believe. And he said that they were meeting with, companies, testing, interested, integrations, all these marketplaces talking about blockchain, not just blockchain companies. And the craziest thing that he said, and keep in mind, this is, 3 or 4 years ago, is, there's been tons of interest over the past year. And he said, so basically their focus shifted from convincing people that, DLT is going to be a future and, making, that it's going to happen, and just making sure it happens correctly. And that is a huge, bold statement. Keep in mind, this is the same gentleman that, again, recoded the Bitcoin, Bitcoin code from scratch. He knows XRP does not have issues of double spending. There's no 51% attacks, none of that, okay? And then also, just to kind of go off of that, remember I was just talking about Bitcoin. I'm all for Bitcoin. I want Bitcoin to go up. Potentially, it could kind of close the CME futures gap like historically it has almost every single time this past year. So don't be surprised if we did see a flash wick down to close that gap closer to that 10K mark. And if that does occur, I think it's going to be short-lived. I think we are at a bull run in this market. It's going to be funny whether, we explode up again and we don't even have to close that gap, or, go down. People are going to say we're not in a bull run. It's typical market psychology. Look at the macro, look at the weekly view, and you'll see that the bull run has been, coming for quite some time. It's a market cycle, guys. The market literally did nothing but trend down and sideways for, 2.5 years. It's time to go up a little bit. So again, it's not too good to be true. These assets, well, some of them have true utility. So just understand, they're going to go up, and I plan to be making money, period. Okay. And then last but not least, boy_XRP just sharing this gentleman, Deputy Governor of Canada. And this is his view on just Bitcoin for the future of money for payments. And this is from 2019, just a 30-second clip. Okay. And again, guys, I appreciate it as always. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you in the next video.
Of factors which are really related to the cryptocurrency world, and the fact that we're observing various products. We think the generation of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and so on are probably not going to become the mainstream means of payment in the economy. That we think that they're pretty deeply flawed in their design in a way that means that they'll never be effective as a means of payment, store of value, unit of account.